Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and in today's video we will be going over all of the event math related to the upcoming Fantomex Heroic campaign and exactly how you can get a 4 or 5 star completely free to play with actually a pretty limited amount of cores. But before we get to that, we'll also be going over my recommended characters from the Debonair trait for those who are looking to clear that top heroic campaign difficulty, and for those who are a bit familiar, or sorry, unfamiliar. This is the second time that we've had this, the other event being for Evil Strange, so the difficulty and powers will be very similar to this, with just, of course, different characters, so be aware of some of the power expectations for this, which tends to be around the G13 range if you want to clear the whole section. Other than that, sit back, relax, and let's go boil this event down. And before we get started with the Debonair characters, what I want to point out really quickly is the Debonair orb. So we always check out the orb for the event before it actually goes live. Now, you can buy it for 500 cores here, but as soon as the event does go live on Friday at store reset time, this will become unavailable. And frankly, I think that the Weapon 13 orb will also become unavailable. I think this happened last time with Strange, but I can't remember, to be honest. I do know that the event orb will not be viable for 500 cores, though. But let's take a look for what's inside for the character rewards other than Fantomex. So we do have Dagger, and we have T'Challa, Star-Lord. As far as unfarmable characters go, those are kind of the more premier characters. Some of the other ones that are okay is like Mr. Sinister is a War Store character, so you really don't want to be spending many credits on him these days. Other than that, Multiple Man, I guess, because he's a Doom War camp. He's pretty late in the Doom War campaign, so if you do need some more shards for him for eventually unlocking Adam Warlock, then there you are. But otherwise, a lot of these other characters are fairly accessible, not too hard, and so it's not that great of an orb. I think the Evil Strange orb was actually quite a bit better for his, but that was like the first heroic campaign orb. So with that being said, let's jump into the actual Debonair characters and some of the ones that I think are going to be good for this event. And just because I have them hearted, don't pay any attention to that. Those are just the characters that I have for my roster right now that I'm sort of building right A-Force. So a lot of the characters that are available right now are newer characters. And unfortunately, there's actually a lot of unfarmables on this list. Now, as far as characters that for new players and mid-game players that I would try and use if you can, it's going to be characters like Evil Strange, which was obviously from the last campaign event, so hopefully some people built him up a little bit. Dagger is another good choice here as a standalone choice. Phyla Vel, if you have some built up into her, and of course Sharon Carter. There are some, now of course you need 5 of them, so if you've built up Spider-Woman, that's some good here, but there's a lot of characters that you're probably not going to have as an early and mid-game player, and heck, you know, maybe some veterans won't either. You know, Mr. Sinister you might not have built up. He is a good choice if you have him, but otherwise I wouldn't go out of your way to build him just now. So, top 4 for me is Strange, Sharon Carter, Phyla Vel, and Dagger. At that point, it's kind of your pick of the litter for your 5th choice of this. It really depends on your roster. I would try to go with some of the more viable long-term characters that you're probably going to want to build. Wolverine might be on that list because of Weapon X and his inclusion into that. It might be Invisible Woman because of her inclusion into the Nowhere Heist event, and it might be one of these newer characters that you've decided to build. So if that's the case, then that should help you very much there. So let me know what your choices are going to be for this event. I'm probably just going to go with my strongest 5, which at this point is just Strange, Sharon Carter, Sinister, Phyla Vel, and Dagger, and I'm going to just see if that works and hopefully and hope for the best. So that's out of the way. Let's jump on over to the math. Alright, and before we get started on anything here, this is my spreadsheet for this event. I should have said this in the very beginning. Everything is going to be subject to change, and the reason why I'm kind of saying this jokingly, but you know, based on what's been going on with the Sister Grimm event for Nico Minoru, and the fact that in their blog post that they said that everything is subject to change before it's in the game, I'm using my information based on the information from the Evil Strange event and based on the blog post that they gave us on Friday with the numbers. So they're actually pretty much the same, but I just want to throw that out there before we get started that it's not my fault if they somehow fuck up the math numbers, if things aren't working properly in game. There's nothing I can do about that, so I apologize ahead of time. Just wanted to get that out there. It's kind of going to be an ongoing running gag, I think, that all of my math videos from now on are going to be subject to change, because who knows if they're actually going to be working properly when the event goes live. So we have the event To X a Thief. This is starting on May the 27th, which is Friday, at store reset time. It's going to be 15 days, just like all of the other campaign events. Now, we're going to start with how you're going to start off getting shards from this event. And a lot of this, the math in this, is going to be with the assumption that you're going to be able to farm heroic difficulty. And so my apologies for those of you who may or may not be able to full clear the heroic difficulty. Just kind of lower your expectations a little bit based on my math that you might not be able to get as many shards as my scenarios stipulate. So there's 9 levels in heroic difficulty, 1 through 9. You get a variety of different shards and event orb fragments. You also get first time rewards from the hard mode as well. So if you're doing like heroic 1, heroic 2, heroic 3, you're also getting the first time rewards from the hard mode. So that's what I've listed here. So you get the shards, you get the event orb fragments. You're also getting some SBCs now, and gold fragments, and some teal catalyst gear pieces, teal catalyst pieces, as you clear the heroic difficulty. So you add up all of this, and you're going to get 30 shards for free. Now, it used to be 27, like back in Dr. Voodoo's campaign event. Now they've added like 3 more from the heroic shards here, from 7, 8, and 9, the stages, and you're getting all of these event orb fragments, and which is almost about 3 free event orbs before you start farming. So basically, when I do the scenario and all that, that includes these shards here. He is a 45 shard unlock, so once you clear heroic for the first time, you're probably going to be pretty close to actually unlocking him. As long as you get a decent like first orb pull, from these 3 orbs, then you're probably going to unlock him in the first day. All right, so that being said, let's move on to the available fragments per day in the heroic campaign. We have 700 fragments on all of the levels. So there was a little bit of an issue in the Evil Strange event where like hard mode was giving more fragments per energy than heroic. I'm assuming they've since changed that now, and they've properly like managed that for this event. So you're going to want to just farm all of heroic, just like you did in the past with hard mode. You're going to just want to do this from start to finish on heroic from the top up. You get 700 fragments per whole thing, for 100 energy each, which requires 900 energy, and you get a total of 6,300 fragments for doing this. Now, how do you get that energy generation? Now, I've shown this in a lot of my other previous energy-related videos, but you get 288 free-to-play energy. That's 12 energy over 24 hours. You get 240 from 3 80 energy free refreshes. This is depending on your time zones and whenever you get your refreshes. And you can get 400 from coring, which is 100 energy times 4 refreshes, not 120 like you get from the campaign energy. You only get 100 for event campaigns. So you add this all up together and you get about 928. So that's pretty much all of heroic campaign plus like 2 attempts of the hard mode difficulty. So we're going to move on to the scenarios, and the first scenario that I have is what I'm going to call the best case scenario. This is your 4 times 50 core refreshes. This is typically what the majority of the player base does. This is 3,000 cores over 15 days, but of course you're accumulating cores, every day through arena and whatnot, so it's not, you're not net negative that much. Energy spent is 928, so it's like that chart from before. This is all your refreshes. You do get a decent amount of gold from this, actually, so you get about a total of almost 1.7 million gold over the 15 days. I just throw it in there. The total fragments gained daily is 6,510. That's all of your heroic mode, plus 28 energy in hard mode, which equates to 3.26 orbs daily. Now, over the course of 15 days, you're getting 48, almost 49 orbs through 50 coins. So you might want to do a little bit more to get you there. But this is again over the 15-day event. So that gives you a total of 309 shards. Now, where did I get that number from? Basically, approximately each orb is worth about 5.4 shards. This is a long-standing number that this event, these orbs haven't changed in years, and this was just a number that has been used, that has been crowdsourced over polls a very long time ago, and this is what people consider to be the shard drop. So plus the 30 for free, and plus the pretty much 3 orbs for the first time. You multiply all that together and you add it all up and you get about 309 shards, which is really, really close to a 5-star free-to-play. And 200 cores is not that bad. Like, that's what most people do. That's what I do. And so the best thing that you want to do early on, decide how many cores that you're going to spend. That way you can kind of have a plan. You want to have that plan from the beginning. So if you're going to spend 200 cores a day, just start strong. And if you happen to get really lucky, this 309, by the way, is average luck. So there's a good chance that you'll actually get more than this. There's also a good chance that you might not. You know, so this is kind of like plus or minus like 50 shards. For me, when I did 200 coring for Evil Strange, I actually came out with 20 out of 200. So I scored about probably an additional 21 shards than they said here. I didn't spend any additional cores than 200 a day, and I didn't, you know, buy any orbs or anything like that. So I came away with a 5-star with Evil Strange. I probably should have cored just to be safe, but for Fantomex, as a character, like, I don't really care too much about him, so I'm willing to do 200 cores a day, but I really wouldn't go too much past that. But I have done some scenarios below that showcase that. Scenario 2 is the middle ground. This is 100 cores a day. If you really don't care about Fantomex and the Unlimited X-Men that much, because it's a Cosmic Crucible team, this is 1,500 cores over 15 days, so this is half as much. It's 200 less energy. I did not include the gold, because I had to actually calculate that up quite a bit, and it's just... Yeah, anyways, doesn't matter. So the total orbs over the day is 2.56. Times that by 15, you get 38.3 orbs. And again, doing the 5.4 shards, you're getting about 252 estimated shards. Now, this is halfway to 5-star. It's still most likely comfortably a 4-star. So even with bad luck, you know, which is 180 shards, you'd have to have really, really effing terrible luck to not get a 4-star still. So if you're just okay with that 4-star and you don't want to spend too many cores, I actually, you know, would, you know, recommend the middle ground as well. If you don't want to spend too much cores, if you don't really care that much about Fantomex, then this might be the way to go. Now, scenario 3 is the worst case. This is no refreshes at all. This is just your 528 energy, which is without coring. You get about 1.86 orbs daily, or almost 28 over the event, and that's about a 4-star still, free to play. But this is average luck, right? So that is only 16 shards above the 4-star, so if you have any degree of bad luck, then you're probably not going to get that. So if you do want to make sure that you get the 4-star, I would recommend the scenario above, at least the middle ground, which is 100 cores daily, or 2 additional refreshes. And then there's scenario 4. This is lots of cores. This is if you want to do 400 cores a day. That's 6,000 power cores over 15 days, 200 additional energy over scenario 1, and this is going to give you a total of 59.3 orbs over the course of the event, which equates to about 366 shards. This is well over kind of what you need for a 5-star. This would actually cover bad luck probably as well, because that would give you an extra 56 shards, potentially in either direction, in the down direction, that, you know, you would overcome to get that 5-star. If you really, really want a 6-star, or if you maybe bought his offer and you want to compensate, then you could consider the scenario 5, which is lots more cores. This is 600 daily cores, 9,000 cores over 15 days. You're going to get 4.6 orbs daily, 68.9 over the course of the event. Now, at this point, you're basically doing, and I need to change that, you're basically doing all of heroic and then the top 6 hard mode levels. So I haven't updated that. I forgot to update that. And probably, no, yeah, I did up here. So I didn't do it for this one here. And that gets you 417 shards. This is like halfway to 6-star, because a 6-star is 510. So if you did spend to unlock him and you really want to get to 6-star because you have a 6 red or something, this is probably what you're going to have to do. Now, this is a lot of power cores, and that's well beyond what I'm willing to do for a Cosmic Crucible team and for Fantomex personally. But hey, if you really want to go balls to the wall, then this is how you're going to do it. So let me know what your plan is for Fantomex. You know, personally, I'm probably going to be in scenario 1. This is normally what I do for almost every campaign event character, unless I'm somehow strapped for cores, but I'm usually doing okay. And this is what I would probably do personally. If you really, really don't care about Fantomex, then scenario 2 would be your next best bet. Only 1,500 cores over 15 days. It's not really a lot here. And this is probably your best reason to use cores. I know that there's the Sister Grimm event milestone ongoing right now that involves campaign energy spending, but I personally wouldn't do that much. I would try to rely on raid wins with X-Men for that. to get your milestone points done. So that's the Fantomex math here. I'm going to have this available in the comments, or sorry, in the description down below, and also on my Discord channel after the video goes out. I do like to keep my video out for a couple of hours before it gets posted to my Discord, so people kind of need to watch the video in order to get some of the math. But yeah, otherwise, I hope good luck to you guys on the event. Hopefully it's not too difficult, and we'll have more to talk about in the days ahead. So that's it from me. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.